But I tell you one more thing, though, what is worse about politics. The power is bad, the expense is terrible, but it's the political brain, the politician's brain, that is really the problem. Well, you say, ha ha ha, what brain? No, it's worse than a joke. It's worse than a joke. You know, taken one by one, politicians are dull normal, you know. But when you put politicians together in government, you get a committee. In fact, in Congress, they even come right out and call the committees, you know. We have all been on committees, and we know what happens to intelligence and common sense when people become members of a committee. It's called committee brain, you know. Okay, you live in a neighborhood with a playground. The kids in the neighborhood would love to play tetherball, but the playground has no tetherball pole. A committee is formed to raise funds for tetherball, committee to raise funds for tetherball. CRFT. CRFT is started by a group of pleasant, enthusiastic, public-spirited neighbors. The minute any of these neighbors becomes a member of CRFT, he or she will turn into one of the following lunatics. The crazy optimist. Everybody loves tetherball. Everyone loves tetherball. Everyone will donate to CRFT. There are a lot of rich people in the neighborhood. They'll all donate. Let's set our fundraising goal at $10 million. The stickler. We have to draw up a charter and form a nonprofit corporation with a chairman, a president, a vice president, secretary, treasurer, development officer, and human resources executive. And the tetherball pole has to be exactly 10 feet high in accordance with North American Amateur Tetherball Association rules. The dog in the manger. We need to get permission from the county zoning board, the city council, the parks department, and adjacent landowners who may complain about tetherball noise. That part of the playground is too damp for tetherball. It might be federally protected wetlands. We can't do any fundraising without advertising. We can't advertise without raising funds. The kids would rather have a tennis court anyway. The person who is stupid even by committee brain standards. So the rope has a ball on the end of it. The worrier. Padded pole, breakaway tether, lightweight foam ball, and ban on playing after dark or when visibility is poor and when the sun is shining to avoid UV ray skin cancer damage. Kids should wear helmets and knee pads and safety belts. The person with ideas. Let's set up a challenge grant to erect a second tetherball pole in the inner city. Midnight tetherball could be an alternative to crime for deprived youth. We can also promote tetherball as a way to combat child obesity, which makes us eligible for funding from the Gates Foundation. We'll have a tetherball league. No, 3 adults, juniors, and tether tots. And this could be a great Title IX thing. If our daughters are varsity level tetherball players, they'll get into Yale. The person who has ideas, none of which have anything to do with tetherball. Is the tether biodegradable? Is the pole made from recycled materials? Many playground balls are manufactured in third world countries using exploitative child labor. Let us be sure to utilize organic fertilizer and indigenous plant species when seeding the tetherball play area. And the bossy person, who says the same thing as everyone else on the committee, but louder. The person who won't shut up, who says everything, same thing as everybody else on the committee, except more often. The person who won't show up unless his or her vote is crucial, in which case he or she shows up and votes the wrong way. And you actually do all the work and call 40 people and ask them each to donate $10, and half of them do, and you raise the $200 needed only to find out you need $200,000. Because the House of Representatives Economic and Educational Opportunity Committees, Select Committee on Opportunities in Physical Education Subcommittee on Americans with Disabilities Act compliance requires all tetherballs to be wheelchair accessible no matter how high the tetherball flies. You know, given the complete dominance of politics by committee brain, the wonder is that anything gets done, and the horror is that it does. You know? Government accomplishes this, what you'd expect from a committee. You know, a camel is a horse designed by a committee is a saying that couldn't be more wrong. A camel is a seeing eye dog designed by a committee and available free with government grants to people who can see perfectly well but who can't walk. Anyway, it's our great good fortune. We of the libertarian ilk, we've found a way to avoid committee brain. And what's more important, a way to weasel out of the whole kill, boff, marry, paradox of politics. Because we've realized that true freedom, true power, and true responsibility are individual matters. And we've also realized that the greatest source of our freedom and our power and our responsibility is the free market. Economic freedom is the freedom we exercise most often and to the greatest extent. Freedom of speech is important, if you have anything to say. I checked on the internet, nobody does. Freedom of belief is important, if you believe anything. I watched reality TV, I can't believe it. Freedom of assembly is important if you have an assembly to go to the way that we do, but most people go to the mall, and at the mall they exercise economic freedom. The free market is not a creed. It's not a creed or an ideology that we want our fellow Americans to take on faith. Free market is simply a measurement. The free market tells us what people are willing to pay for a given thing at a given moment. It's all the free market does. Free market's a bathroom scale. We may not like what we see when we step on the bathroom scale, but we can't pass a law making ourselves weigh 110, and President Obama thinks we can. Free market just gives us one piece of information, but we ignore that information at our peril, the way the old Soviet bloc did. They lost the Cold War. They lost the Cold War not because of troops and tanks and Star Wars missile shields. They lost the Cold War because of Bulgarian blue jeans. Bulgarian blue jeans. The free market was trying to inform the Kremlin that Bulgarian blue jeans didn't fit. They were ugly and ill-made. Nobody would wear them. Nobody wanted them at any price. Nobody would wear them literally, not to save their lives. The Kremlin didn't listen, and the Berlin Wall came down. The free market lets us escape. Lets us escape from kill, boff, marry. Let's live our lives as individuals rather than as parts in a political machine. Our politicians know how important the free market is. They know how important it is to us. They value the free market too. The trouble is that too many of our politicians value the free market the way President Reagan actually had a joke about this. He said they value the free market the way the farmer values the pig. See, a traveling salesman stays overnight with a farm family. When he all goes to sit down at dinner, there is a pig sitting right at the table with the family. And the pig has got 3 medals around his neck and a wooden leg. And the salesman's a little taken aback. He says, I see you have a pig right here at the dining room table with you. Farmer says, yep, that's because that's a very special pig. See those medals around his neck? Well, first medal, that's from when the barn was burning down. Our little daughter was in there, and a pig ran in and carried her out and saved her life. Second medal, that's from when our youngest son, he was drowned in the pond, and that pig swam out there and grabbed the kid, brought him in, and saved his life. Third medal, that's from when our oldest boy, he was cornered in the stock pen by a mean bull, and that pig ran under the fence and bit the bull on the tail and distracted the bull, saved the boy's life. And the salesman says, wow, that is a special pig. I can see why you let him sit right here at the dining room table with you. How do you get the wooden leg? The farmer says, well, a pig like that, you don't eat him all at once.